Now at 6, we're live in Fort Scott, Kansas for the Good Old Days celebration. We'll check out what they offered and hear from Chamber President and CEO. Plus, folks in Southeast Kansas pay their respects to a World War II veteran and his remains as he heads to its burial. And an RV coach manufacturer announces a multi-million-dollar expansion in Ottawa County, Oklahoma.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities in Parsons, Kansas have charged a man after he was arrested following a standoff with police. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Jalen Banks. Sadarish Herman is charged with 3 counts of attempted first-degree murder, criminal discharge of a firearm at an occupied dwelling, and aggravated endangerment of a child. Police arrested him yesterday evening after a standoff at the Parsons Village apartment complex. Police surrounded the complex and Herman initially refused to come out, but police later entered the apartment and arrested him without incident. You can read more about the case on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The search continues this afternoon for an armed and dangerous escapee from the Barry County, Missouri jail. Take a look at this mugshot. Barry County deputies are looking for Mario Che Toll. He was in the county jail for child molestation charges. The sheriff's office said he was one in a group of inmates that overpowered and assaulted 2 correctional officers late last night. All the other escapees are back in custody. Again, Che Toll is considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information about his location, you are asked to call the police. A project manager hired to clean up lead-contaminated soil at Granby, Missouri City Park is sentenced in federal court. A federal judge sentenced 65-year-old Lynn to serve 5 years of probation and pay a $40,000 fine. Ike's employer, Environmental Quality Management, received a nearly $12 million contract to perform a waste remediation in the Granby area. Last year, Ike admitted he gave federal officials false information about the scope and amount of lead contamination at Granby City Park. Officials say the deceit cost taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars to correct. The remains of a World War II veteran soldier were buried today in Independence, Kansas. U.S. Army Air Forces Staff Sergeant David E. Holman was stationed in the Philippines when Japanese forces invaded in December 1941. Holman was among thousands of U.S. and Filipino service members captured and interned at POW camps when U.S. forces in Bataan surrendered. Records show Holman died in July of 1942. He was buried with other prisoners in a common grave. Holman's remains were identified last year by DNA testing. Folks are gathering at downtown Fort Scott, Kansas today to celebrate Good Old Days. This is the 42nd year for Good Old Days. According to festival organizers, the event started in the 1800s. It was discontinued, then resurrected in 1981. While it's meant to celebrate Fort Scott's past, it brings in visitors from outside Bourbon County as well. A parade is just now getting kicked off. And now meteorologist Sam Lane joins us live at Good Old Days in Fort Scott, Kansas with more about the celebration and a look at the weather.
All right, thank you very much, Jalen. Yeah, we're in downtown beautiful Fort Scott, Kansas today celebrating Good Old Days. I have here with me Lindsay Madison of the Fort Scott Chamber of Commerce. Lindsay, this is quite an event you've got on here.
Yes, we're so excited for the 42nd annual Good Old Days. Sincere appreciation to all the committee that puts this on every year for the community and also the visitors that come to town.
And Lindsay, we're having a parade tonight, is that right? Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, we have a parade that always kicks off the festival. Starts right now at 6. We have about 70 entries, so it's a great parade. We have some distinguished judges, some servicemen and retiring from the service, so we're excited to have them this evening.
All right, and there are lots of vendors out here with all kinds of food. They have food trucks, vendors, and we're going to talk to one of the vendors in a little bit later. But it is a beautiful evening shaping up for Good Old Days here in Fort Scott. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, definitely. There are food vendors, craft, clothing, all kinds of retail. Plus, we have our regular downtown stores and restaurants that are open. And there will be live entertainment tonight until 10. The Red Garter Saloon Show is always a hit. It'll be going tonight at 7 and on the hour tomorrow, the Red Garter Saloon. And so come tonight till 10, and then it starts early in the morning and goes all the way until 10 tomorrow night.
All right, well, it looks like a great evening shaping up across the area. We do have some thunderstorms, but the good news is they're way off to the west in central Kansas, south of Wichita, and they're starting to sneak into Chautauqua and Elk counties, and we're starting to see a chance of showers starting to move into our forecast. But the good news is once the sun goes down, a lot of that will start to dissipate, so no excuse whatsoever to not come down to Fort Scott and enjoy good old days. Zooming in, you can see the activity there in western parts of our viewing area, but this evening is shaping up to be pretty nice across the area. Although we're still in a drought, Fort Scott is about 18.5 inches below where they should be in rainfall. Hopefully we will get some more rain over the weekend, but we don't want it to rain on the parade tonight, nor do we want it to really wash out anything tomorrow, and I don't think we have a concern about that. Instead, we're looking at conditions are looking pretty nice. Temperatures in the 60s for lows and then highs in the 80s tomorrow. And of course, I'll have more details in our forecast coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Sam. A Miami, Oklahoma producer of luxury coaches is gearing up for an expansion project with the help of funding through the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. KOAM Shagun Bomdali has more.
Newell Coach is preparing a $7.5 million expansion project supported by $2 million in funding from the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. In April, the company received notification of approval for the award under the state's Business Expansion Incentive Program.
And we're going to use the money as part of a facility office project. We're going to be building some new offices on the grounds to add more space for growth and just kind of update our facility.
The last time any expansion was done in Newell was in 2010.
Specifically to the offices, we haven't done any expansion really since probably 2010 or 2011 is when they did a remodel. We have added facilities on our campus here in Miami, quite a few over the last 10 years. We've added a new production facility, a service expansion, a new frontline building. So we're continuing to add as our company growth allows.
An employee says the expansion will allow for more workflow.
Oh, the expansion is going to be great for us, not only for our customers, our employees as well. We are the top motor coach manufacturer in the world, and so we need to have that presence when a customer pulls up. So I think our new office facility will set the tone of what the customer needs to expect from us and what they'll get from us.
With the new expansion, Newell is expected to hire more people and boost the economy of Miami, Oklahoma.
We're a top employer in our area, so as we continue to grow and have success, we're going to look to continue to bring on top talented people and grow our employer base. And as our employee base grows, then that benefits everybody in the community.
In Miami, Shagun Bomdali, KOAM News.
The Business Expansion Incentive Program assists Oklahoma companies making major capital investments in items such as machinery, equipment, and buildings. Coming up, details on a federal lawsuit challenging an Arkansas law subjecting librarians and booksellers to criminal charges. Plus, the latest on research showing Missouri and Arkansas as some of the unhealthiest states in the country. A federal lawsuit filed today challenges an Arkansas law that would subject librarians and booksellers to criminal charges. It's if librarians provide harmful materials to minors. A coalition that includes the Central Arkansas Library System in Little Rock filed the challenge to the law, which takes effect August 1st. The new law also creates a new process to challenge library materials and requests that they be relocated to areas not accessible by kids. Research shows both Missouri and Arkansas are among the most unhealthy states in the country. Reporter Joe Hickman has a look at what the criteria is and what it says about our society.
Using data from the Centers for Disease Control, the company MedicalAid.com analyzed harmful habits across the country and ranked the most unhealthy states in the U.S., with Louisiana being the worst, and Missouri and Arkansas ranked 3rd and 5th most unhealthy. The categories looked at were cigarette use, the prevalence of binge drinking, obesity, physical inactivity, and the STD rate. Two of the most prevalent problems nationwide are obesity and smoking. The U.S. ranks number 1 in the world for its obesity rate, one of the main reasons America is ranked as the 4th unhealthiest country overall. Local measures to combat that early on include the WIC program that helps pregnant women, their infants, and their children get off on the right foot nutritionally.
WIC is an educational-based program to help make sure that there's great dietary habits in the home, as well as lots of education, and plug them into community resources as well.
Smoking contributes to 480,000 deaths in our country every year, and tobacco-related diseases cost more than $300 million annually in medical care and lost productivity. In the Springfield area, that's more than $222,000 annually. And once again, the local approach is going upstream to try and stop the habit before it starts.
How do we get more education in school regarding tobacco use, and especially with vaping? Having tobacco 21 to raise the legal age from 18 to 21 helps young people from ever beginning smoking.
While the federal law is 21, Missouri's minimum age to buy tobacco products is still 18. And studies have shown a 25% decrease in tobacco use among 15 to 17-year-olds if the minimum age is 21. And it's also been shown that it's never too late, no matter your age, to change bad habits, because it will improve your health.
There's still a lot that can be done, both from preventive, right, being more active, or having a healthier diet can certainly help with that, as well as healthcare. You can take a stepwise approach. It doesn't have to be all at once. There are small changes that yield big results.
Meteorologist Sam Lane is next with a complete look at the forecast and is live at Fort Scott Good Old Days. And a little later, the Webb City Cardinals boys team looks to make it to the state championship against St. Francis Borgia.
All right, we are live from downtown Fort Scott, where we are celebrating good old days, and the parade has gotten underway and is now behind us. I have here with me Krista Vaughn, who's one of the vendors. And Krista, you have a very interesting name for your company. Tell us a little bit about that and how that came about.
Absolutely. So my name of my company is K&Co, and the name comes from my daughter and I. Our middle name is Kay. So we opened it because we wanted to teach our daughter financial literacy. So we opened it to kind of teach her the skills of business and kind of gain some skills, while she's still young.
And why did you decide to set up your vendor spot here in Fort Scott at the good old days?
I'm actually born and raised in Fort Scott, so we've got family in town, so we thought what better way to, visit family and, just bring our business here and kind of, show our daughter what it's all about.
All right, so kind of a little bit of a town reunion a little bit. Oh, thanks, Krista. Well, we have some beautiful weather, and it started out this morning nice. Also down in Seneca, Missouri, the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. And as we go through the day, as this goes into motion, you'll see that cumulus clouds started developing around mid-morning into the early afternoon, and some of those cumulus clouds turned into some thunderstorms that have been showing up on radar out towards the west. Let's take a look at that. And you can see that scattered showers and storms are mainly staying in south central Kansas and north central Oklahoma. And you can see on the current conditions, it's in the upper 80s for highs this afternoon, so it's a little bit uncomfortable. The dew points are up as well, but all in all, not too bad. Right now in Fort Scott, we're looking at 88 degrees with a south wind at 7, dew point at 63, and the humidity at 43%. All right, let's take a look and show you what's going on for this evening. If you're coming out to good old days, it's going to be in the mid-80s until about 8 o'clock, and then we drop into the upper 70s. There is a street dance tonight, so if you want to enjoy that, come on out and do so, as we're experiencing mostly fair skies. All right, let's take a look at the forecast. As we go through time, we're going to see the scattered showers and thunderstorms, a better chance of storms tomorrow, but let's take a look at the next map if we can. Let's look at the radar first, and you can see the rain activity well off towards the west, and severe weather down in Oklahoma. Not really expecting any severe weather in our area. Instead, we're going to be staying in the 80s tonight and getting close to 90 in some places like Jay with 89 degrees and 77 rain-cool degrees, though up there in Yates Center. So some folks are starting to get some rainfall from the scattered showers and storms. All right, let's take a look at the next map, and you can see that we're expecting the rain chances are going to be mainly in the western sections. If you're going out to the lakes this weekend, looking pretty good. Grand Lake is right where it's supposed to be. Table Rock Lake is also looking pretty good right now. And Stockton Lake is a little bit above normal, but still not too bad, around 2 feet above normal. All right, now let's look at the forecast as we go through over the next 36 hours. Rain chances are going to be increasing as we go through the day tomorrow. And then as we go through tomorrow night, the rain chances will start to drop off again. And then if we look at the precipitation accumulation, we're not really expecting a whole lot from the storms, maybe an inch or so in some isolated spots. So let's go to the 10-day forecast, and you can see as we skip past, we're going to go to the 10-day forecast, and you'll see that the scattered showers and storms, better chance tomorrow, and then better chance of storms again on Sunday next weekend. That's when the next big chance of storms starts to come back in. But not tonight. We're going to have a nice night here in Fort Scott at Good Old Days. So come on down and enjoy. We have the Storm Tracker vehicle here. So if you want to take a look at that, we have that as well. Hope you have a great evening. Back to you there in the studio.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Still ahead, the Joplin Outlaws aim for back-to-back wins to open up the season. And Webb City Baseball plays for a spot in the Missouri Class 5 state championship. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Well, the Webb City High School baseball team is in the state semifinals for the first time since 2010. The Cards hit the field this afternoon against St. Francis Borgia in the Class 5 semifinals. Now, the winner of this one advances to play for a state championship tomorrow afternoon. Webb City trying to snap Borgia's 10-game winning streak and earn a spot against Festus tomorrow in the state championship. Pick it up in the top of the first inning. Kaylor Darnell on the mound for Webb City. Gets the first out of the game on a strikeout. This game is scoreless until the bottom of the third. Borgia gets on the board first. RBI single through the left side there. Knights take a 1-0 lead. Now still in the third inning. With runners on, Darnell with a big strikeout here. Kaylor Darnell goes 5 1/3, picks up 5 strikeouts today. So we move on now to the 6th. Tanner McPherson up, lines this one up the middle. 2 runs come around to score on that. Borgia pushes their lead to 4-0. Now to the top of the 7th. Last chance here for Webb City. It's going to be strike 3, and that's the ball game. St. Francis Borgia beats Webb City 4-0. The Cardinals will play for 3rd place tomorrow morning.
Yeah, proud of our kids. You're going in the 6th inning down 1-0 against a really good pitcher, and some kids can swing it pretty well up the top of their order. So, proud of our kids for battling through. Kaylor didn't have his best stuff today, and that's okay. But man, he's pitched 4 straight games for us, started on the mound. That's a lot to ask of a high school kid.
The Joplin Outlaws won their season opener last night, beating Des Moines 5-4 in walk-off fashion. 2 teams right back at it tonight to finish up their 2-game set. First pitch, as always, set for 7 o'clock tonight at Joe Becker Stadium in Joplin. We'll be there, and we'll have highlights from the game right here tonight at 10. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news right after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. An organization in Parsons hosts a Kids Fun Run to raise money for the Safe House Crisis Center in Pittsburgh. Plus, we'll meet an Oklahoma 5th grader who isn't letting her disability stop her from playing the game she loves. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. And Sam is still out in Fort Scott. Sam, what do you have for us for a final weather note?
That's right. I'm here in Fort Scott enjoying the parade for Good Old Days. The parade is still going on, and it's a beautiful evening. It's going to be that way for most of the night. And then tomorrow, scattered thunderstorms, but those will mainly be in the afternoon. And then as we head through the rest of the weekend, rain chances start to decrease a little bit. And then on Tuesday, maybe some storms again. And then Wednesday, cooler. And then the next round of storms won't be until next Sunday. And temperatures are going to be pretty summer-like with temperatures in the upper 80s for highs and lows in the 60s. But a great evening to come out here in Fort Scott and enjoy Good Old Days. And it looks like a great night here in Bourbon County. Back to you.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Sam. Leonard?
I've seen some reports out of KU today. Patrick Cassidy, former Columbus standout, has a chance to go from manager for the basketball team to a potential walk-on, so we'll be keeping an eye on that, but that would certainly be a cool opportunity for him and Lawrence.
For sure. Fingers crossed. But before you go, we'll leave you with a video with a live look at Good Old Days in Fort Scott, Kansas. We'll do this all again at 10. See you then.